Hello to everyone at Barnstormers Nation. I'm Buddy Haardt here on Zoom with Jordan Ahnquist. I have Dee Nelson, Neal Brown, and David Brown.
Neal Brown.
And we're here to have a little interview, have some fun, talk a little bit about the Barnstormers today. Obviously, things are up in the air for the summer with COVID-19. And theater itself is, facing a big trial right now. But people in this Zoom meeting know why it's so important, why we share these ideals, why we share the love of the theater, and why we think that the Barnstormers should continue and can continue. And we just wanted to give a few interviews and point out some of the amazing facts about the Barnstormers.
I'm Neal Brown, and I came in 1978, and I came here when I was little. I was part of the summer folk, and we would go to see the theater, and I always thought, what a wonderful place to work. And so I wrote Francis Cleveland, but he wrote back and said that he didn't use new actors unless the older actors got married or died. So I thought, I guess, I don't know when I'll be able to work here, but I did pursue it. And a few years later, in 1978, I was accepted and played little girls for quite a while. And that's when Dave and I met in 10 Nights in a Barroom in 1978.
Really? 10 Nights in a Barroom?
I'm Neal Brown. I came in 1969. I was a former student of Cope Murray, so everybody knows Cope. I was at the Barnstormers, I think, for 43 years. And I think I did about 300 shows. It may be a little less than that, but it's about 300.
Who's counting?
Dee and I shared the stage multiple times. One of my favorites.
My son and Glass Menagerie.
Glass Menagerie.
Were wonderful. You and Lauren as my wonderful children were amazing.
And you were too, Dee.
And Jordan and I got to work together for the first time this past summer. I was honored to be able to direct Dee and Jordan and Dee's boyfriend Frank in a wonderful little romantic comedy called Things My Mother Taught Me.
And you did a great job. You did.
Thank you.
You did.
Great.
All
So
of you.
fun.
Right.
So let's jump into some questions. Jeannie and Dave, so the first time you met was at your first day of rehearsal. Can you give us a little bit more on your meeting?
Well, we didn't hook up till 1982, but we
till after rehearsal.
Yeah, we hooked up after rehearsal. Yeah, several years later.
I played little Mary, who ends up dying and is up in heaven. And in the last act of that, I had to be suspended up above in the rafters on a swing and would come down and sing, "Look for the Silver Lining." I didn't realize that my feet showed the whole time, and I was dancing and kicking them around, and I didn't mean to. I probably upstaged everybody. Nobody, even the crew didn't know that my feet were showing through all of that. But Dave had freckles. I remember Dave had put, even though he was a redhead, he had freckles all over.
I'm most intrigued by you flying over the stage. Out in the rafters.
It was I just had to sit up there for be suspended there for the last act, and then gently be lowered down. But my legs had been kicking all through the weight up there.
we still have the swing.
I think we need to bring it back next season.
Yeah, well,
I think so too.
Yeah, sure. We can show it to you. I mean.
So besides Jeannie's legs making an unscheduled appearance in that show,
That's a good way to put it.
I love to hear people's stories about like stage mishaps, like, missed lines or missed entrances or set or costume malfunctions, whatever. You guys all must have some great stories of things like that have happened.
I have one from, I have many, but I think one of the funniest times, it wasn't funny then, to us on stage.
That's the way it
yeah, that's
happened.
But
Yeah.
it was
Terror,
funny.
terror.
It was funny. It was the final preview of Moon Over Buffalo, and there's a big scene where, you know, you can't be caught in the same room with the, you know, all these people can't know that they're in the same room with each other, and it's a constant cycling of running out the door, slamming the door, the next people enter the room, not knowing that anyone else is in the house. Same thing happens. They run out, slam the door, and I'm with Amanda Huxtable, and we get to the door. It's this huge farcical moment. The play's going a million miles a second, and we get to the door. I grab the doorknob, and it comes off. And, and then it's just like, it's sheer panic. And I'm sure like that's the definition of theater, is like we're seeing real fear on these people's faces, and that's just hilarious to the audience. So I ripped this off. I got to stage, and I know that I can't be on stage because the next group is coming on and they can't see me, and that's gonna totally, you know, screw up the story. So I'm putting my finger in the doorknob hole, and I'm putting my fingers all over the top, the top to get the door open. And finally I get my fingers in, get it open. Amanda and I rush through, and I come back in, and go through the door, and I slam it. And I go, oh my God, what have I just done? Because the next group has to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So there were 3 or 4 groups of people that kept doing the exact same thing, searching, putting their finger in the doorknob holes and trying to get this door open, and then they get through it and be excited, and then they slam the door, and then go, God, what have I done? So it's this constant circle of this happening, and the audience is losing it. Like, it's not part of the story. It's not supposed to be, but it was.
It should be.
It was.
Well,
so
then you
funny,
think you should keep doing it.
Yeah, they love that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they love that.
That was the big one.
That's
for
a pretty
me,
good bit.
you could just, people were,
Yes.
you know, you could hear Bob in the back, Bob Shea in the back, just, you know, on the ground, Blair, Thundermarks in the back, just in hysterics. The story's just gone by the wayside by this point.
Oh, but I bet it must
favorite.
have been wonderful.
Yeah. Jordan, how about yourself?
No, all my shows have been flawless, I think. But the one fear I had was my second year. We were doing Full Monty, where we all expose ourselves at the end, and the lights are supposed to come up. And my previous year during Big River, I remembered the infamous light flickering that happens in the theater. Just sometimes the lights don't work the way they're supposed to. Thank goodness we never had a malfunction, but that's as close as I got to bearing all to the town of Tamworth.
Did you hear the noise that the lights make too?
Sometimes. Hey, it's a part of the Barnstormers. We love it. We love the sound too. It takes you out of the play for a second, then you got to jump back in.
Yeah, you just got to keep going. I remember when we did A Christmas Carol Rag. It was a Christmas show I played. It was a female Joseph Marley, and I had chains and a heavy dress, and I didn't realize my foot had caught on a bra that was on the floor of the dressing room, and I was just about to drag it right onto the stage with my chains, and it would be very obvious, and I just caught it in time, but it was just,
oh darn, if only you hadn't caught it.
I know. What does she have on her foot?
I want to hear about the you were talking, we mentioned that program that you guys had with the advertisement for dogs or something.
Oh, yes.
I want to hear about this.
We did find one, this is from an old program, and this is, I don't know if you can see it, but the ad above it is for Highland House. And the ad below it is this one of Francis Cleveland's ads that he made up.
Hold it in front of the camera. Hey.
How's that?
Wow.
And this was for Amalgamated Furs Incorporated, formerly BC R&Z, that's Brown Cleveland Rugby, our dog, and Zach.
Yeah, our other dog.
And this is a long advertisement about amalgamated furs, not imitation furs, nor have they seen hide or hair of an animal live or dead. They are grown in hothouses. The formulas for their Nurture was discovered 3,000 years ago by the noted Asiatic experimenter, Dr. Mao Fu Yu. Anyway, these were these fake ads that Francis put in that were run by our dogs. And
Wow.
they were just, another one was the Moscow division run by our dog, Zach, who was, he was part wolfhound. And he will wait upon you with our usual dedicated ineptitude. And if you are not satisfied with our work or product, and you will not be, there is no use in complaining, as we will probably be somewhere else, like, for instance, Siberia. I mean, but they were very just straight. But they looked like official advertisements that Francis Cleveland would put in the programs, and our dogs were the presidents. It was a canine company. And that's one thing that made the theater unique. This one is Francis Cleveland and his sense of whimsy that just was always there.
So you had a good relationship, a long relationship with him, and he even married you too?
Yes, he did.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Where was that?
At our house.
At our house, this house actually, downstairs.
There were just the four of us. He came over.
With his wife, Alice.
And we decided, we had a long discussion about whether we should stand up or sit down. And we finally decided we would stand up, but Alice would sit down. And we had the short version of the ceremony, and our dog Rugby, who was president of this canine company, he had a nylabone and gnawed it loudly through the vows. So I don't know, Dave is good at making sounds, but you could hardly hear Francis's service because of our dog Rugby chewing this nylabone. And then when we were married.
We come back to the Barnstormers for many reasons. The people we know, we have people that are local like you that live closer to the theater. Dee's in California right now. I'm in New York, and Jordan is flopping back and forth between Boston and Vermont and New York, I believe. Is that right? Or
That's true. I've been in Vermont for 2 months now, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Vermont's great. Vermont's a great state.
It's not bad. We're neighbors.
No, it's great. Yeah, I lived there for a while.
And then we all end up right in this little town of Tamworth.
Every time. And we have, and it feels often that a lot of the people, we don't talk much during the year. We talk when we all have our own lives, and we talk when we can. But it often feels like when we get back to the theater, we just pick up the conversation from where it left off last time. And that's kind of one of my favorite parts about the whole experience, is that there's this weird magical understanding that happens when you enter the town of Tamworth, that just your life outside kind of goes away for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And the friends and family that you've made in the past few years, they are your family. They surround you, and I can't imagine better conversations and better laughs than sitting around the table at the Gilman house, or rehearsals. The conversations we've had have been priceless to me.
Now it's just, we need Jordan to be in our town, because we're all connected by our town, and that's what you're talking about, our town. So
it's true. That's so true. And it is, the tie to Grover's Corners is, outside of the latitude and longitude portion of it, and I think that our town, is special in my heart, because I didn't really experience the play itself until I went to the Barnstormers. It's such a big part of that area. And it's the bucolic ideality of the whole place is kind of what gets me every time. At the beginning of the third act, where Emily's in the cemetery talking about her life, it's impossible for me not to start crying when watching that, knowing we're in Tamworth. This is the life. These are the friends. These are the family that she is referring to. And every time that little monologue starts at the beginning of the third act of Our Town, I'm done.
Yeah, it's a very
every time, because it's such a part of that little town. I think that it's pretty obvious to anyone watching this and to ourselves how much this place means to us. The Barnstormers Theater means so much to us. It's going through a hard time right now, like many theaters, but we believe that, you know, theater is just on pause right now. This isn't the end. This isn't the end of anything. We'll be here for another 100 years. The Barnstormers is going to be here for another 100 years, because of the connections we have like this, because of the family we have, because of the friends we have. It means so much to us for so many reasons. You know, this our meeting has been just the tip of the iceberg for why the Barnstormers Theater is so vastly important to all of us. And we want nothing more than to see it flourish for another 100 years, another 90 years.
Right. Here.
And soon you will be the elder actors, and maybe 30 or 40 years from now.
Look at his hair. No,
telling them to go into the Gilman at 3 o'clock in the morning, telling everybody to go to bed. Rehearsal in the morning. I can't imagine that being me, but let's imagine. Well, thank you so much for the time, everyone.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
I miss
everybody.
you guys
It's been fun.
so insanely much. You
So
guys
great to
are
see
wonderful. And let's actually do this. Let's do this more. Let's Zoom with
Just say hey to people.
Barnstormers.
Yeah, hey.
Have a glass of wine and chat, right?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm game.
All right, let's do it. Well, I miss you all. I love you all, and stay safe, and we'll be back together soon, hopefully.
Love you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of love.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.